Welcome, welcome, my fellow business owners, to the first annual Payroll Awards. We're going to be walking through the pros and cons of multiple different softwares, and then we're going to be giving out some awards at the end. And no, they won't be my child's soccer trophy. So I'm excited for this one. We're going to have a little bit of fun, but make sure to stay until the end, where I'm going to tell you the payroll providers that you need to avoid at all costs. So today we're going to dive deep into 4 really popular payroll options. Those are Gusto, OnPay, Roll by ADP, and Run by ADP. And if you're wondering why I chose these 4, it's because of the extensive research I have done into payroll providers over time. And these are also the ones that I have the most experience with, so I feel like I can accurately speak to their pros and cons. Now, real quick, just to tell you at the front of this video, these are my 4 favorite providers, and therefore I have become an affiliate for them as well. But I only affiliate for things that I really, really love, and I always make sure to negotiate a great deal for those of you who sign up with my link, so it's a win-win for everyone. And importantly, all the opinions in this video are my own. No one has told me what to say. These are my personal opinions of these softwares. Now, before we jump into it, if you want to follow along with my recommendations or take a look at a decision tree to help you walk through to figure out which is best for you, definitely go to jamietrull.com/payroll. That's also where you're going to find all the negotiated special deals that I have with these payroll companies, and you're going to want to use those links. So first, let's jump in and talk about Gusto. Now, I've been talking about Gusto for years if you've been around on this channel, and it has changed a little bit over the time. So let's talk about in 2025, what are the pros and cons of Gusto? Now, first of all, what I love is it's super scalable. It's something that can grow with you. They have lower tiers and also higher tiers with more functionality, more HR. You actually can go to a tier where you get full-on HR capabilities. You can offer benefits through Gusto. So it's really great, even if you have a couple of employees up to 100 employees, you're gonna be able to do what you need to do on Gusto. And personally, I also think they have a really great user interface. I thought it was really easy and intuitive. And if you're on one of their higher tier plans, they have pretty good customer service as well. So what are the cons of Gusto? Well, the main one is the fact that they do have these tiered plans. I understand why they did it. They used to be flat fee, but it actually caused an issue with some of their customer service because they grew really fast. And so they ended up creating these different tiers. And the different tiers come with different features, but they also come with different levels of service. So if you're just starting out and price is really important, then you might have to go on the lower plan and you may not get the service or all the features that you might want. And another con is that in order to do something like multi-state payroll, you have to be on a higher plan. Their lowest level plan does not include multi-state payroll. And I'm a person who has employees in multiple states. My team is fully remote. I don't have a ton of employees, but we all live in different places. And therefore it'd be really kind of a burden to pay those extra fees to be on that higher plan with only just a couple of employees. So if you have multi-state payroll, Gusto may not be the best one for you unless you need other things in those higher tier plans and can justify that added cost. Now, the second payroll company we are going to discuss is Roll by ADP. Now, you may not have heard of Roll specifically. You've probably though heard of ADP. And ADP actually has several different payroll platforms that you can use depending on your needs. So there are a lot of them. They sometimes feel a little overwhelming, but the main ones that I talk about for smaller businesses are going to be Roll by ADP and Run by ADP. We'll talk about Run next. But right now, let's talk about Roll. Roll is newer and it's entirely app-based. So you can log in on the app, you can do everything via chat that you need to do, including run payroll. It is super duper easy. You'll get your alerts all on your phone. It does have a desktop way to do it as well, but in general, it's really built for the user interface to be on the phone. And so that is the main pro, is that it is super simple and easy to use and fully on your phone. It's also really cost effective, especially if you use my link to sign up. If you use my link, you're gonna get it for just $24 a month plus $5 per employee right now. So definitely check out that link below if you do choose to sign up for Roll. And I generally recommend this if you want a low cost payroll solution, if you're looking to maybe put yourself on payroll. maybe you just became an S Corp and you know you're supposed to be paying yourself a reasonable salary because you've been watching all of my content about it, then Roll is a great choice to start with. Or maybe you've watched my content on hiring your kids. This is actually currently my preferred payroll solution for hiring your kids because it's low cost, super duper easy, and it has everything you need for those scenarios. Now, what are the cons? It's super limited features. So you can't add a bunch of benefits and benefit plans and healthcare and all kinds of things on that. It's not really what Roll is for. It is simple. So again, the thing that is the pro, right, super simple, might also be the con depending on your business. It's really meant for smaller businesses. I probably wouldn't recommend it for businesses with over 5 to 10 employees. That's probably the max. So if you plan to grow and scale, it may not be the best one for you. And the support's pretty basic, but again, it's a very simple plan, so that makes sense. It's going to be mainly chat support. I actually use this to run payroll for my kids, and I've had a good experience with it. But in general, again, it's really meant for more simple needs. If you have more complex payroll needs, it may not be for you. Speaking of more complex payroll needs is Run by ADP. This is really their flagship product for small to medium-sized businesses, and typically they can handle up to about 100 employees or so, and they have a ton of capabilities. They have lots of built-in HR capabilities as well, and benefits and all kinds of things like that. I'm actually currently using Run by ADP for my primary business right now, so I've gotten to really see what it's like, and I really like the service element to it too. I have my own rep that I can call, and that's been really, really helpful. So honestly, I think it's great if you have more complex needs or want to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody. Run by ADP is great. Now, on the con side for Run by ADP, similar to what we've talked about before, it's not as simple. And if you have simple needs, then this might not be right for you. It might be a little much, it might be a little unwieldy for you, and it might be more expensive as well than what you would want to pay because it does tend to come with a slightly higher price tag. I also don't love the fact that the pricing isn't super transparent. You do have to go through and get a quote. I've even talked to ADP about that because I know that that can prevent some people from moving forward because you might think, well, if I have to get a quote, is it probably more expensive than I can afford? And it really is mostly comparable, maybe a little bit on the higher end from other payroll providers. So if you're interested in it or you have more complex needs or more employees, Run by ADP might be one to look at. Remember, ADP has been in this game for a long time. They're the OG when it comes to payroll, so they know what they're doing. And the fourth payroll provider I want to talk about is OnPay. And you probably haven't heard me talk a lot about OnPay before. In fact, I've only done one video last week that was more of a deep dive into OnPay. So if you're interested in it, go check out OnPay. But OnPay to me is probably most similar to like a Gusto, and it serves a similar audience. They have similar features, but there are some differences to be aware of. So one of the pros for OnPay, specifically when we compare it to something like Gusto, is there are no tiered fees. There is a one flat fee pricing, and that is something that they still do. Gusto used to do that. They don't do that anymore. They have those tiers we talked about. But the great thing about having one tier is you get everything on that tier, including some HR capabilities. You don't have to have a higher plan for that. You get multi-state payroll without having to pay extra. So that's really nice about OnPay. I really appreciate that. So that goes along with another pro, which is the price, right? The price is comparable to something like Gusto, but again, you get more bang for your buck, especially if you are a smaller business. If you have less than 10 employees, OnPay may be a great solution for you. If you have more than 10 employees, then it might be a little bit more of a pull towards Gusto or Run by ADP, but OnPay is great if you're just starting out and it can grow with you. Another pro is the service. I've heard fabulous things about their service. You have phone, email, and chat access, and you also get a dedicated onboarding representative who can help you if you are maybe transitioning from another payroll provider, or this is your first time hiring an employee and you have no idea what you're doing, right? They have great service from that regard. So that's really impressive, especially at the price point. So all in all, you can see that all 4 of these are really great options. They might just be for different businesses or maybe at different stages of business, depending on what you need right now and what's most important to you. So if you want to dive a little deeper, I want you to go to jamietrull.com/payroll. I have this whole chart up there, which will walk you through to help you decide which one may be best for you. I'm a big fan of decision trees, right? So you can follow and see what makes the most sense. What would I recommend for a business like yours? And on that same payroll page, you're also going to see all the special deals that I have negotiated with each of these companies. So for some, you might get a gift card for signing up, maybe a free extended trial, or perhaps a lower price, but definitely go sign up and use one of my links to do that because you're going to get the best deal that way. All right, now it's the fun part. We are going to be doing the awards ceremony. So I'm going to be listing a category and then I'm going to tell you who wins in that specific category and why. So if you're ready, I want you cheering along with me as my audience as we jump in to the Best of Payroll Awards for 2025. So the first category is Best for Simplicity and Ease of Use. And for the winner of this category, it's got to be my friends Roll by ADP. And I'm picking them not just because they gave me a sweet coffee cup. However, I really like the simplicity of Roll by ADP. Again, I use it to pay my kids. You can use it if you're an S Corp owner. It's low cost. It's super easy to use. Literally, if you can text, you can use Roll by ADP. So that is who is absolutely going to win this category. If I had to pick, the runner-up would probably be OnPay. I felt like the user interface was super easy for OnPay as well, but it has more features, so of course it's not going to be quite as simple. Category 2 is the best for growing businesses. If you are looking to grow and scale and have lots more employees, this is the category. So the winner of the best for growing businesses is, drumroll please, not sure if you can see it, but that says Gusto. So Gusto is who I would choose for the best for growing businesses because they really are focused on that market. They want to grow with you. That's why they created the tiered plans. So when you're just starting out, you don't need quite as much. And as you grow, you're going to get access to more and more in those higher tiered plans, including basically a full outsourced HR. So that is a really great one to choose if you are looking to grow and scale, if you have especially more than 10 employees and you are looking for something that might have the capabilities that you want, I would say Gusto all day. Now, if I had to pick a number 2 runner-up in this category, it's probably run by ADP. OnPay is also pretty close in there as well for growing companies because they have HR functionality and features and the ability to add benefits. So there are a few that you could choose if you are planning to be a growing and scaling company and you want something that can grow with you. I gotta fix my hair. I got hat hair. Okay, so category number 3, the third award that we're gonna be giving away is Best Value for the Price. Okay, so we're not talking about necessarily the lowest price, but the best value for the price. And the winner, hands down for me, is this seems very scandalous right now. OnPay. OnPay wins, and I also win because of all the amazing swag we get at these accounting conferences, and now it's all coming in handy. So OnPay wins for best value. Like I said, you get all the features of OnPay in the first tier, right? You get HR help and onboarding and all of that in that first tier. You get access to everything that you need. And so it's a great value because it's priced similar to Gusto's lowest tier price, but you get more for that. So again, you can do multi-state payroll. That's included in the lowest price. It's not for Gusto. So while I love Gusto and what they offer, for the price, especially at those levels, right? If you're just starting out, OnPay is absolutely a fantastic choice. And second place here, I'm gonna put Gusto because even though they have that tiered pricing, I still think it's a really good value for the price depending on what you need. Category 4 is the best customer service and support. And the winner of this category is also OnPay. So OnPay, when I looked at reviews, it has consistently positive reviews. They offer phone chat, which again can be hard to find, to actually be able to talk to a human being. They offer an onboarding person for no extra cost to help you onboard and to make sure that you get everything switched over as you need to, or everything set up as you need to. And again, I think that's really fantastic. So hopefully that level of support stays as OnPay continues to grow, but I've been really impressed so far. Second place here, I'm going to put Run by ADP, because Run really, again, can be a little bit more white glove. It's geared towards more complex businesses. So if that's you, they can help you navigate through those things. And here we are, we've moved on to best for complex payroll needs. So maybe there's multiple pay rates, different things that you need to be tracking in your business. You just have complicated payroll needs, right? Now, it depends on what that means, because there can be certain features that one has that might be better for you than another. On the whole, I would say Run by ADP is going to have the expertise that you need. So they are the winners of this. Unfortunately, they're the one I don't have any swag for. Come on, guys, send me some swag. So I made my own. So Run by ADP is what I would recommend for more complex businesses, for bigger businesses. I really do think that they are a great solution for that. Again, I use that for my main business, so I can speak really specifically to it. So in second place, I'd put Gusto. They can handle some complexity pretty well as well. They've added a lot of bells and whistles and features. Again, if you are looking for really simple payroll though, it might be a little bit complex for you, but at those higher levels, they do have more and more things and features that they offer for complex payroll needs. Now, best for HR tools and integration. And this one's tough because I'm actually going to give you two answers. If you really need in-depth HR and a whole like outsourced HR department, probably Gusto. Gusto's probably going to be my winner here, I would say. They have just a full suite, but you got to be on those higher plans. But I'm also going to make OnPay a winner here too, especially if you have fairly basic HR needs. Those are all included in that one low price tier. So you're going to have onboarding and you're going to have employee handbooks and offer letters, all those types of things without having to upgrade to a higher plan. So that's the award ceremony. Again, if you're wondering what's the best overall, I'm not going to pick one actually, because I really think it depends on your needs and your business and what you're looking for, which is why I have that decision tree analysis that you can see at jamietrull.com/payroll, along with all these special deals that you can get for using my links for any of these companies. Now, obviously I've based this video on the 4 payroll companies that I do recommend. However, what are the ones that I don't recommend? So first and foremost, I don't really recommend QuickBooks Payroll. Now, that may seem strange because I'm a QuickBooks user. I do affiliate for QuickBooks as well as an accounting software, but I just don't love their payroll. And it's fine, it's simple, it integrates well, but all of the ones I've talked about here integrate really well with QuickBooks anyway, so you don't really need to use that QuickBooks Payroll. And if you move away from QuickBooks to another software at some point in time, it could make it a little bit more difficult than if you're already using a standalone payroll platform. Additionally, I don't really love their customer service. They're just not really easy to get a hold of, and a lot of the business owners I know have been frustrated because of that specifically. And the other big payroll provider that I'm not a huge fan of is Paychex, and that's because I've heard service isn't great with Paychex. I don't love that they're not transparent with pricing, and I have heard that it tends to get more and more expensive. They charge extra fees for various different things. And so it's probably, at the end of the day, not the most cost-effective of all the different softwares. Now, take this with a grain of salt because unlike the other 4 I talked about, I haven't actually personally used these in depth. And so therefore, these are just my personal opinions based on my research and discussing this with other business owners who have used them. Now, I hope you found that as fun as I did. If you want more tutorials that dive into each of these payroll platforms, make sure to hit subscribe because we're going to be doing more content around payroll coming up. And to get started with any of these options, definitely make sure to click the link below because that's where you're going to get the best deals on each of these platforms. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.